Tommy Robinson, his real name Stephen Yaxley Lennon, was released on police bail today, about 2 hours ago, following his arrest on suspicion of grievous bodily harm. And the incident, which took place at St Pancras Station on the 28th of July, left a 64-year-old man hospitalised. And Robinson insists that he acted in self-defence. And the footage available to the public is inconclusive, but he says that he has seen the full footage, which includes presumably the hit, and that this exonerates him. British Transport Police arrested Robinson at Luton Airport on his return from Faro in Portugal, and he travelled abroad hours after the incident. He's now on pre-charge bail until the 2nd of September while investigations continue. This, however, is not merely a legal story. It's become a lightning rod for conspiracy, grievance, and the ghoulish theatre of the online right. Pre-charge bail is a holding mechanism, not a finding of guilt or innocence. It allows police to continue investigating while the suspect remains outside custody, usually under very strict conditions, and Robinson may face restrictions such as contact bans or requirements to return for further questioning, which indeed he has on the 2nd of September. He's not been charged, and that decision now rests presumably with the Crown Prosecution Service once police have reviewed all available evidence. Being on bail means he's under suspicion, not exonerated. And police investigations are not theatre. They're methodical. They require statements, digital evidence, CCTV analysis, and medical reports. And the CPS must assess whether there's a realistic prospect of conviction and where the prosecuting is in the public interest. Supporters may circulate selective footage. Robinson claims exculpatory video evidence exists. Perhaps it does, but police must evaluate all the facts, not just the curated reels promoted online. English law allows reasonable force in self-defence, but the threshold for reasonable is high, and the man involved was hospitalised. The legal question, therefore, is not whether Robinson felt threatened, but whether the force that he used was necessary and proportionate. And that assessment is for investigators and potentially a jury. And online speculation is neither helpful nor lawful when it crosses into contempt of court, and the matter falls sub judice, which technically it doesn't at the moment, but it is potentially. So I think we have to assume that it is sub judice at this moment. Into this volatile moment steps Alex Bellfield, the disgraced former BBC presenter turned convicted stalker, now positioning himself as a martyr of free speech and self-declared voice of reason. And his Monday night monologue, delivered in tones of faux humour and bitter defiance, is a symptom of the same pathology that surrounds Robinson's cult following. Belfield likens himself to Robinson, Russell Brand, Andrew Tate, and even Lawrence Fox as supposed victims of the system, silencing dissenters. He claims Robinson is being persecuted for protecting girls, that the state is terrified of anyone with influence, and that self-defence is no longer a defence. Well, of course, you've got to remember, self-defence was used as the defence in Manchester, or rather in the Liverpool court, where the Manchester airport thugs were put on trial. This is not legal commentary, it's agitprop, a form of hyperbolic grievance theatre designed to radicalise, monetise and polarise. And Belfield's tirade mixes claims of state persecution with product placement, mugs, memoirs and prison merchandise, all part of his growing cottage industry of victimhood. I use cottage in the sense of an industry rather than in the sense of a place that people might go. I think probably cottages have almost disappeared. They've all been closed, haven't they? He uses euphemisms to denounce LGBTQ people. It's extraordinary given his claims in his own self-defence that he couldn't be homophobic because he was in the LGBTQ spectrum. Veiled threats to insult the police used by Belfield, and sarcasm to mock court verdicts and vulnerable communities. I mean, the point with Belfield is that he's got a very good memory, and if he doesn't write his own scripts, he delivers them to perfection. If he does write his own scripts, he has an element of brilliance. But it's so perverted and it's used for such unpleasantness. And that, in a way, is what connects him to Robinson. Robinson you can dismiss Robinson as thuggish. You can dismiss him as as a criminal, as somebody who's been in prison. You can dismiss them both on those terms. But this is to misunderstand. And I think Robinson is, he has undoubted charisma, as does Farage, as does Alex Bellfield. And when I look at these two people, Robinson and Alex Bellfield, I see great similarities. This is what connects Belfield to Robinson. Not just the ideology, but the strategy. Both cultivate a sense of betrayal. By the law, by the media, by modern Britain itself, both present themselves as tributes of real people, conveniently accompanied by merchandise and donation links. And outside Mansfield Police Station and on the streets of London, a strange parade continues. Tony Collins, long-time Robinson ally, has appeared at protests in Epping and the Barbican, claiming to be a local resident at both. It's a travelling troupe of provocation. What unites these campaigns is not justice, but theatrical nationalism. Their goal is not investigation, but incitement. They traffic in anger and suspicion. It's not the truth they want, it's a martyr. And Robinson is not yet charged. The injured man has been discharged from hospital. The legal process is unfolding as it should, slowly, independently and professionally. But around it, a cynical spectacle is building. Disgraced broadcasters, convicted criminals, far-right provocateurs, all clamouring for relevance by casting themselves as victims of a regime that exists largely in their imagination. This is not a crisis of free speech. It's a crisis of accountability. And until we stop mistaking agitation for authenticity and performance for persecution, we will remain at the mercy of those who profit most when the public trust is broken down. And we need to change this. We need to change the tone. We need to change the debate. And for those of you who say, oh, you shouldn't be talking about Belfield, you're just giving him airtime, or you shouldn't mention Tommy Robinson, you're just promoting him. No. The chaos that surrounds these two people is symptomatic of the chaos that surrounds so many people who are lifted up by the right, or even, frankly, by the left. It doesn't make too much difference. These people are pawns in a wider game. And they are willing pawns, of course. They are pawn stars, so to speak, in a wider game. Alex Bellfield, the pawn star of the far right. Tommy Robinson, the same thing. This pawn, in a chess game, which is maniacally chaotic, which is focused on control and authoritarianism. It's focused on driving up the temperature. We saw it last year, and we see it again now. And these people are tools in the hands of what has become a savage industry, the industry of far-right agitprop.